Today we're taking a moment, really, to reflect on a pretty monumental loss. It's hit the world of sports entertainment hard, and, pop culture in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
On July 24th, 2025, the news came out about the passing of Terry Bollea. Of course, millions, probably billions, knew him as Hulk Hogan. He passed away age 71. It was a heart attack down in Clearwater, Florida. And the news just, well, it sent shockwaves everywhere. Fans, friends, family, just deep mourning.
Yeah, a real shock. Completely unexpected for so many people.
So our mission today in this deep dive is to try and unpack that extraordinary life, the huge career, the personal struggles too, and ultimately the really complex legacy he leaves behind. He was truly one of wrestling's most iconic figures.
Absolutely, no question.
We'll be looking at, news reports, statements from the industry, trying to give you the whole picture of the man and, well, the phenomenon.
It's a lot to cover. A huge life.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Where did the legend actually begin before he was, the Hulkster? Terry Bollea came from pretty humble beginnings, right?
Yeah, that's right. Born back in 1953.
His early life was in Amherst, West Virginia, though he had strong connections to Augusta, Georgia, and then later Clearwater, Florida, which of course became his final home.
And those roots, the South, then Florida, you can almost see the seeds of that persona being planted there.
Right, that kind of all-American image.
What's really fascinating, though, is how fast that background turned into something just larger than life, a persona that basically reshaped an entire industry. Hogan actually started his pro wrestling career way back in 1977.
87, yeah.
But it was the 80s, wasn't it? That's when he just exploded, became unbelievably prominent. He played such a vital role in how huge WWE got, world wrestling entertainment.
It wasn't just dominance, was it? It was like a whole cultural movement.
Exactly. It was the era of Hulkamania, and that went way beyond just wrestling. It became this global cultural force. It fit perfectly, with that kind of optimistic, patriotic vibe of the 80s in America.
Totally. The red and yellow, the mustache.
He was the ultimate good guy, right? The superhero for families, beating the bad guys, and those big events like the very first WrestleMania, him teaming up with Mr. T.
Oh, yeah. Huge. Mr. T was massive then, the A-Team, Rocky III.
Absolute crucial. That event really pulled wrestling out of its corner and shoved it right into mainstream pop culture.
And the music. You got to mention the music.
Oh, you can't forget. Real American, that theme song, it just was Hulk Hogan. It defined an era, made him not just a wrestler, but a full-blown pop culture icon.
That era was just immense. You really can't overstate it.
Yeah.
But, the Hulkster, he wasn't someone to just rest on his laurels, was he?
Not at all.
He pulled off maybe one of the most, audacious reinventions in entertainment history after Hulkamania peaked. How did he even manage that? To change so dramatically in the 90s, what did that do?
It was incredible. A total masterstroke of reinvention, honestly. Something very few performers could ever pull off. His move from WWE to WCW, World Championship Wrestling in the mid-90s, that set the stage.
Right, that move itself was a big deal.
Huge. And then, 1996, the world saw something nobody expected. The formation of the INWO, the New World Order.
The INWO, black and white, total opposite.
Exactly. For the first time, he became a heel, a villain. And it wasn't just like changing his t-shirt. It was a fundamental betrayal of everything Hulkamania stood for, good versus evil. Now, the biggest good guy was the biggest bad guy.
And people loved it.
And they went nuts. It tapped into this shift, maybe a bit more cynicism, audiences wanting anti-heroes. It gave fans permission to cheer for the chaos, It made them question everything.
It really redefined controversy in wrestling, didn't it?
Completely. It captivated audiences all over again, showed his incredible range, his adaptability, his appeal just endured, whether he was the hero or the villain. It cemented him not just as a star, but as this dynamic, evolving force. Just amazing.
So we've got the superstar, the icon, who dominated two completely different eras in the ring. But what about the man, Terry Bollea? Let's shift a bit to his life outside the ropes.
Sure.
He was married 3 times. First to Linda Claridge, that was from 83 to 2009. Then Jennifer McDaniel, 2010 to 2021. And most recently, Sky Daly. They married in 2023, and he was living with her when he passed.
Right. And he had 2 kids, Brooke and Nick Hogan.
Yeah, and Nick shared a really emotional tribute after his dad died. It kind of highlighted that deep family bond, even with their lives being so public, with reality TV show and everything.
Yeah, Hogan knows best. That put their family life right out there.
Exactly.
And his interests, they definitely went beyond just wrestling and family. He was, a TV personality. He acted in some movies.
No holds barred.
Yeah.
Suburban Commando.
Ha, yeah, those classics. And he was quite the entrepreneur, too. He co-founded the Real American Beer brand recently, and he just launched his own freestyle wrestling league, Real American Freestyle, just this year, 2025.
Wow, still going.
Yeah, shows that drive, right. Still ambitious, still wanting to contribute. But, and this is a big but, the physical toll, the decades in the ring, it really caught up with him.
You hear stories.
It was brutal. In his final years, Hogan faced extensive, really debilitating health problems. He apparently had over 25 surgeries in the last decade alone.
25. That's staggering.
Think about it. That's like 2 or 3 major surgeries every single year. Shoulders, knees, hips, his back, his neck. Just relentless. It's a harsh reminder of what these guys put their bodies through.
And he just had another one recently.
Yeah, neck surgery back in June 2025. And his wife, Skye, she actually said publicly he was recovering well, seemed in good spirits just before he died.
Which just makes the suddenness of it all.
Even more shocking, yeah.
Yeah.
It really underscores how unexpected his passing really was for those closest to him.
Which brings us, sadly, to the day itself. As we said, Terry Bollea, Hulk Hogan, passed away July 24th, 2025. Heart attack. At home in Clearwater. The timeline is pretty stark. Emergency services got the call around, 9:51 a.m. Cardiac arrest. Paramedics worked on him for about 30 minutes trying CPR. But tragically, they couldn't revive him. He was pronounced dead at 11:17 a.m. at Morton Plant Hospital.
It's just awful.
And the Clearwater police confirmed it. No signs of foul play, just deemed a natural death.
Yeah.
What makes it even sadder, maybe, is what his close friend, Jimmy Hart, the manager, revealed. He said Hogan seems fine, good spirits, talking about the future, just the day before.
Wow. Just like that. It really hits home.
Yeah.
And the reaction?
Yeah.
It was instant, global. It's this huge wave of sadness and tributes pouring in from everywhere. Entertainment, sports.
Yeah, he saw it all over.
Wrestling legends like Ric Flair calling him my brother. The Undertaker expressing his sadness. Vince McMahon, the guy who architected Hulkamania, put out a really heartfelt statement.
Even politicians, right?
Yeah.
Former President Trump.
Yeah, former President Trump, who had a pretty close relationship with Hogan over the years, he shared his respects too. And WWE itself, they put out a statement calling Hogan the greatest WWE superstar of all time.
That's a powerful statement from them.
It really is. Shows the magnitude. And then you had AEW commentator Tony Schiavone live on air giving this really touching tribute. He talked about Hogan's WCW days, the NWO era, how transformative it was.
That must have been emotional. Schiavone was there for all
Exactly. And what was interesting, and maybe speaks to the complexity we'll get to, is that Schiavone also kind of acknowledged Hogan's controversial exclusion from some AEW events in the past, even within that tribute.
Acknowledging the whole picture.
Yeah, and wrestling companies worldwide, not just WWE and AEW, but New Japan Pro Wrestling, NJPW, others, they held moments of silence, special tribute broadcasts. It just showed how deeply his impact was felt right across the entire industry, beyond company rivalries.
It's clear his popularity was just off the charts, his impact undeniable. But as you touched on, Hogan's legacy is also, it's complicated, isn't it?
Very much so.
Which brings up a really important question, I think. How do we, as fans, as observers, how do we square that iconic, larger-than-life figure with the controversies that definitely marked parts of his public life?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's something the wrestling world and maybe pop culture, too, is still figuring out. His cultural impact, first off, you just can't deny it. His career fundamentally changed pro wrestling.
Totally, from niche to mainstream.
He dragged it into the mainstream, yeah. Into homes, arenas, all over the world on a scale nobody had seen before. But you can't talk about his legacy without addressing the major controversy.
The audio recording.
The racist audio recording that surfaced in 2015. Those comments. Once they came out, they led to him being temporarily suspended from WWE. And, understandably, it deeply divided public opinion. Still does, for many.
Yeah, that was a really tough period.
And his passing, in a way, it brought all those discussions back to the surface. Particularly among Black wrestling fans, you saw a lot of conversation about that complicated legacy. How do you reconcile admiring this global icon who entertained you for years with the real pain caused by those remarks?
It's a difficult thing to navigate for fans.
Absolutely. It created this real dichotomy, weighing the huge positive impact he had, maybe on your childhood, on the industry itself, against the genuinely hurtful nature of those words and actions. His longtime friend Brutus the Barber Beefcake even expressed deep sorrow and regret after his passing, maybe reflecting some of that pain within his own circle, too.
Mm.
It just really hammers home how important it is to look at the whole picture, you
Yeah.
know? Consider multiple perspectives when we think about the legacy of any public figure, especially someone as massive and as public as Hulk Hogan was. Legacies are rarely simple, are they? They're usually messy.
No, they're definitely not simple. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, it feels clear that Terry Bollea, through Hulk Hogan, leaves behind this unforgettable, truly complex mark, one of the most important figures ever in wrestling and sports entertainment history. Period.
Absolutely. You said it. His career fundamentally changed the game, turned wrestling into the global pop culture powerhouse it is today.
Yeah.
And those final years, they really highlighted the brutal physical cost.
Yeah, those 25-plus surgeries.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it? The immense strain, the sacrifices these performers make for our entertainment week after week. But despite the controversies, Terry Bollea is, well, he's immortal in wrestling history. Millions will remember him. Hulkamania, the matches, the TV shows, the businesses. What's fascinating, I think, is just how one person can shape an entire industry so profoundly and leave such a huge yet complicated mark on culture. It forces you to think about heroism, villainy, and, all the gray areas in between. What parts of Hogan's story really stick with you? How do you personally weigh the different sides of his legacy? It's something worth thinking about.
Definitely something to reflect on. So if Hulk Hogan was a part of your childhood, maybe share your favorite memory of him with us on social media. You can use the hashtag #HulkForever.